Audible BS presents Animal Farm by George Orwell. Part 1. A brief summary. On Manor Farm, the animals lived under the negligent rule of Mr. Jones, a man more devoted to drink than duty. Hunger was common and hope scarce, until old Major, the farm's eldest boar, respected by all, shared a dream of rebellion. He spoke of a future where animals would be free from human cruelty and would control the fruits of their own labor. His death soon after only strengthened the resolve of the animals to make his vision real. Led by the intelligent pigs, Snowball and Napoleon, the animals revolted in a burst of chaotic bravery, driving Jones and his men from the farm. The victory was celebrated with wild joy. The farm was renamed Animal Farm, and the 7 commandments of animalism were painted on the barn wall to ensure that all animals would remain equal and united. In the first months, the animals worked harder than ever before, but with new pride, believing every task was for the common good. Snowball planned improvements, most notably a windmill he promised would ease their workload and bring new comforts. Yet as Snowball spoke passionately about progress, Napoleon lurked quietly in the background, raising a litter of puppies in secret. Tension grew between the two leaders until the day Napoleon unleashed his now full-grown dogs to chase Snowball from the farm forever. With his rival gone, Napoleon declared himself the sole leader. Squealer, his silver-tongued lieutenant, rewrote the past with persuasive lies, assuring everyone that Snowball had been a traitor all along. From then on, the pigs seized increasingly human privileges. Milk and apples were reserved for them because they needed the extra nourishment. The pigs moved into the farmhouse. They slept in beds. They engaged in trade with neighboring humans. All the while, the other animals, especially the loyal workhorse Boxer, pushed themselves to exhaustion, clinging to mottos like, "I will work harder," and "Napoleon is always right." The windmill was built, destroyed, and rebuilt, each time at great cost to the animals' strength. Their rations shrank, their rights faded, and their memories blurred. Whenever doubt flickered, Squealer assured them that the commandments had never changed, and if the writing looked different, surely their own recollection was at fault. Boxer's collapse marked the farm's deepest tragedy. Promised a peaceful retirement, he was instead sold to the knacker, his final loyalty repaid with betrayal. The pigs used the profit to buy whiskey and celebrate. Years passed, the animals aged. The young, who had never known the rebellion's early hopes, accepted inequality as normal. Eventually, the 7 commandments disappeared entirely, replaced by a single decree. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The final blow came when the pigs began walking on 2 legs, carrying whips, dining with the human farmers they once condemned. The animals looking through the farmhouse window could no longer tell which faces belonged to pigs and which to men. All distinctions between tyrant and liberator had vanished, and the rebellion's bright promise had turned into a darkness deeper than before. Part 2. In-depth analysis. What happens when animals take control of their own destiny? In this engaging, story-driven course, you'll journey through the world of Animal Farm, meeting unforgettable characters and witnessing the rise and fall of their society. Through vivid storytelling and accessible lessons, you'll explore the plot, analyze key characters, and uncover the powerful themes and lessons woven throughout the narrative. By the end, you'll not only understand what happens on Animal Farm, but also why it matters, both in the story and in our world today. Lesson 1. Once upon a farm. Setting the stage. Welcome to Manor Farm, where your journey into the world of agriculture and animal care begins. Explore the farm, meet the animals, and discover how a working farm operates. Get ready to learn, interact, and have fun as you experience life on Manor Farm. Imagine a quiet countryside where the sun rises over rolling fields and a sturdy old farmhouse stands at the center. This is Manor Farm, a place where animals work hard from dawn till dusk, living side by side under the watchful eye of their human owner. Life on the farm seems ordinary, with each day blending into the next, but beneath the surface, something is about to change. Here in this seemingly peaceful setting, our story begins. Before we begin exploring the events of Animal Farm, it's important to get to know the main animal characters. Each character has a distinct personality and role, contributing to the richness and depth of the story. 1. Old Major, pig. The wise and respected elder, Old Major inspires the animals with his vision for a better future. 2. Napoleon, pig. Ambitious and determined, Napoleon quickly emerges as a leader among the animals. 3. Snowball, pig. Intelligent and passionate, Snowball is always full of ideas and energy for change. 4. Boxer, horse. Strong and hard-working, Boxer is admired for his loyalty and dedication to the farm. 5. Clover, horse. Gentle and caring, Clover looks out for her fellow animals and offers comfort when needed. 6. Benjamin the donkey. Cynical but clever, Benjamin often observes events with a skeptical eye. 7. Molly, horse. Fond of ribbons and sugar, Molly prefers comfort and attention over hard work. 8. The dogs. Fiercely loyal, the dogs serve as protectors and enforcers among the animals. 9. The sheep. Easily swayed, the sheep often follow the crowd and echo popular opinions. Daily life on Manor Farm is filled with routine and hard work. The animals wake early, ready to plow fields, pull carts, and provide milk and eggs, all under the orders of Mr. Jones, the farm's owner. While some animals are stronger or more skilled, everyone has a job to do, and there is little time for rest or play. Despite their efforts, the animals often feel tired, hungry, and unappreciated. Mr. Jones takes most of what they produce, leaving them with just enough to survive. There is a sense of frustration and longing for something more, a hope that life could be different if only they had the chance. Old Major's Dream. Old Major's dream is a pivotal moment in George Orwell's Animal Farm. In his dream, Old Major envisions a world where animals live free from the tyranny of humans. He imagines a society where all animals are equal, work together for mutual benefit, and enjoy the fruits of their own labor. His dream inspires the animals to rebel against their human oppressors and strive for a better life. Old Major's vision becomes the foundation for the principles of animalism, which guide the animals' actions throughout the story. One evening, excitement fills the farm as Old Major, the oldest and wisest pig, calls a secret meeting in the big barn. The animals gather, their eyes wide with curiosity and hope. The barn is alive with the sounds of shuffling hooves and quiet whispers as everyone settles in, eager to hear Old Major's words. Tonight, something significant is about to happen, something that could change their lives forever. Old Major's speech in Animal Farm inspires the animals by presenting compelling ideas that challenge their current situation and encourage them to envision a better future. 4. He warns the animals against becoming like humans, cautioning them not to adopt the selfish and cruel behaviors of their human oppressors, even if they gain power. For the first time, the animals allowed themselves to envision a world in which they were truly free. As Old Major's words echo through the barn, the animals are filled with excitement and hope. They whisper to each other about the possibilities, a life without hunger, fear, or unfair treatment. Some ask questions, wondering how such a dream could ever come true, while others feel a new sense of purpose stirring inside them. The seeds of rebellion have been planted, and nothing on Manor Farm will ever be quite the same. The spark of change. Change often begins with a single moment or idea that inspires action. This initial spark can come from a personal experience, a new piece of information, or a shift in perspective. Recognizing and nurturing this spark is essential for driving meaningful transformation, whether in an individual, a team, or an entire organization. Embracing change requires openness, curiosity, and a willingness to step outside of comfort zones. In this lesson, you have entered the world of Manor Farm, met its memorable animal characters, and listened to the inspiring dream that gives them hope for a better future. Old Major's vision has sparked a new sense of purpose among the animals, preparing them for rebellion and transformation. As we move forward, anticipate excitement, challenges, and surprising developments that lie ahead. The animals' journey is just beginning. With their newfound hope, they are eager to explore new possibilities and face the challenges ahead. What choices will they make, and how will their hope guide them on this adventure? Listen 2 of 5. Revolution and New Beginnings. The animals take charge. The day everything changed. A restless energy buzzed through the barns and fields of Manor Farm. The animals could sense that the old ways were crumbling, and every hoofbeat and flutter of wings seemed charged with anticipation. Whispers of hope and courage passed from stall to stall as the animals braced themselves for a moment that would change their lives forever. The air was thick with tension. Something big was about to happen. Here is a step-by-step breakdown of the dramatic events that led to the rebellion on the farm. 1. The animals, suffering from hunger and mistreatment, finally reach their breaking point when Mr. Jones forgets to feed them. 2. Driven by desperation, the animals force open the barn doors and rush into the yard, demanding both food and freedom. 3. Chaos ensues as Mr. Jones and his men attempt to regain control, but the united and determined animals overpower them. 4. In a dramatic conclusion, Mr. Jones and his helpers are chased off the farm, leaving the animals victorious and in control of their own destiny. As the dust settles, the animals stand in stunned silence, hardly believing what they've accomplished. Excitement ripples through the group. Some cheer, others laugh, and a few simply gaze in wonder at the empty farmhouse. For the first time, the farm belongs to them. The sense of pride and possibility is overwhelming, and the animals begin to realize that their world has changed forever. A new name, a new beginning. With Mr. Jones gone, the animals come together and decide to rename Manor Farm as Animal Farm. This new name symbolizes a fresh beginning and their commitment to creating a better life for all animals. The animals collaborate to organize their new society, exchanging ideas and making plans. There's a sense of hope as they envision a future where they are free, equal, and in control of their own destiny. The animals establish 7 commandments to serve as the foundation for their new society. These rules are designed to ensure equality, unity, and protection from human influence. 1. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Humans are not to be trusted. 2. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. All animals are allies. 3. No animal shall wear clothes. They will not imitate humans. 4. No animal shall sleep in a bed. Comforts of humans are forbidden. 5. No animal shall drink alcohol. They will avoid human vices. 6. No animal shall kill any other animal. All animals are equal in life. 7. All animals are equal. Every animal deserves the same rights. For the first time, the animals believed they could shape their own destiny. As the animals adjust to their new roles, it soon becomes apparent that some are more skilled at organizing and planning than others. The pigs, recognized for their intelligence, take the initiative to lead discussions and make important decisions. While tasks are distributed among all the animals, the pigs gradually assume greater responsibility, directing the group and shaping the future of Animal Farm. Their intelligence and resourcefulness distinguish them, leading the other animals to rely on them for leadership. A new order begins. The beginning of a new order marks a significant turning point in history. It often involves changes in leadership, policies, or societal structures, leading to new ways of governance and organization. Such transitions can bring about both challenges and opportunities, shaping the future direction of a community, nation, or even the world. In this lesson, you have learned how the animals' rebellion transformed their world. They expelled Mr. Jones, took ownership of the farm, and established a new set of rules for themselves. The pigs have taken on leadership roles, and the animals are optimistic about a better future. However, as they strive to create their new society, they will face challenges and difficult choices.
The narrative of Animal Farm is only at its start, and the upcoming journey will challenge their unity and principles.
The animals have won their freedom, but the question remains, will they be able to maintain it? Lesson 3 of 5. Dreams and Reality. Challenges on Animal Farm. The struggle to build a better farm. At first, the animals were filled with excitement as they set out to create their new society. The fields seemed greener, and every task felt important. But as the days passed, the animals discovered that building a better farm was much harder than they had imagined. The work was exhausting, and the challenges they faced tested their strength and their dreams. Still, hope lingered as they pushed forward, determined to prove that life could be different. Here are some of the early achievements and challenges faced by the animals as they worked together on the farm. 1. Successful harvest. Working together, the animals managed to bring in a harvest bigger than ever before, filling them with pride and a sense of accomplishment. 2. Hard labor. Without the humans' tools and experience, every job took longer and required more effort, leaving the animals tired and sore. 3. Sense of unity. The animals felt closer than ever, sharing meals and stories as equals, which gave them hope for the future. 4. Lack of experience. Many animals struggled with tasks they had never done before, and mistakes sometimes led to frustration or wasted effort. As the work progressed, disagreements emerged among the animals. Some had differing opinions on how tasks should be carried out, and old rivalries began to resurface. The most intense disputes occurred between Snowball and Napoleon, both of whom aspired to lead but had contrasting ideas for the farm's future. Their ongoing arguments made it increasingly difficult for the group to remain united, suggesting that more serious issues might arise in the future. Squealer, the voice of the pigs. Squealer is a key character in George Orwell's Animal Farm. He serves as the chief propagandist for the pigs, especially Napoleon. Squealer is known for his persuasive speaking skills and his ability to manipulate language to justify the pigs' actions and policies. Through clever arguments and emotional appeals, he convinces the other animals to accept changes that benefit the pigs, even when these changes go against the original principles of animalism. Squealer's role highlights the power of propaganda and the manipulation of truth in maintaining control over a society. In the midst of these arguments, one pig stood out for his way with words: Squealer. Whenever the animals had doubts or questions, Squealer would step forward with a smooth explanation, making even the most confusing decisions sound reasonable. He used clever language and persuasive stories to convince the animals that the pigs' choices were always for the best. Little by little, Squealer's speeches shaped what the animals believed, even when things didn't seem quite right. Here are some examples of how Squealer and the pigs used language to influence and control the other animals on the farm. 1. Squealer explained that the pigs needed to eat the milk and apples for their own health, claiming it was necessary so they could lead and protect the other animals. 2. Whenever something went wrong, Squealer would blame outside enemies or insist that life was better than before, causing the animals to question their own memories and perceptions. 3. Squealer often encouraged the animals to repeat simple slogans like "Napoleon is always right," making it easier for everyone to accept the pigs' decisions without thinking critically. On Animal Farm, language holds immense power, influencing and controlling the actions and beliefs of the animals just as forcefully as physical punishment. Words are used as tools of persuasion, manipulation, and authority, demonstrating that communication can be as effective as violence in maintaining control. As the animals worked and listened to Squealer, subtle changes started to occur in the farm's rules. The 7 commandments, which had once been clear and straightforward, were quietly altered, sometimes by just one word or two. Most animals were either too occupied or too trusting to notice these changes, and those who did notice often felt confused or too afraid to speak out. Gradually, the difference between the animals' original hopes and their everyday lives grew larger, causing some to question whether things were truly improving. Dreams versus reality.
Dreams are the thoughts, images, and sensations that occur in our minds while we sleep. They can be fantastical, illogical, or even impossible in the real world. Reality, on the other hand, refers to the actual world we live in, governed by physical laws and facts. While dreams can inspire creativity and provide insight into our subconscious, reality requires us to make decisions based on evidence and practical considerations. Understanding the difference between dreams and reality helps us balance imagination with practical action in our daily lives. In this lesson, you have learned how the animals' early hopes were challenged by hard work, disagreements, and the clever manipulation of language by the pigs. You explored their initial successes and difficulties, the emergence of conflict among leaders, and the influential role of Squealer's propaganda in shaping the beliefs of the other animals. Most importantly, you observed how the rules of Animal Farm began to change subtly, moving further away from the animal's original ideals. As the rules change, so does the dream. Will the animals notice before it's too late? Lesson 4 of 5. Power and Betrayal. The Rise of the Pigs. When power changes hands. When leadership or authority shifts from one person or group to another, it can bring about significant changes within an organization or society. These transitions may involve new policies, different management styles, and shifts in priorities. It is important for individuals and teams to adapt to these changes, communicate openly, and remain flexible to ensure a smooth transition and continued success. Tension crackled in the air on Animal Farm. The animals sensed that the unity they once shared was slipping away, replaced by whispers and wary glances. Snowball and Napoleon, once partners in revolution, now stood on opposite sides of every argument. Their rivalry grew sharper each day, and the rest of the animals watched anxiously, knowing that the future of the farm hung in the balance. This section describes the dramatic events that led to Snowball's exile from the farm, highlighting the power struggle between Snowball and Napoleon, and its impact on the other animals. 1. The animals assembled for a meeting to decide whether to build a windmill, with Snowball and Napoleon engaging in a heated debate about the farm's future direction. 2. While Snowball was passionately presenting his ideas, Napoleon gave a secret signal, prompting fierce dogs, raised by him in secret, to attack Snowball. 3. The animals watched in fear as Snowball fled for his life, chased off the farm by the aggressive dogs. 4. After Snowball's expulsion, Napoleon announced himself as the sole leader, leaving the animals feeling shocked and uncertain about what would happen next. In the aftermath, confusion and fear swept through the animals. Many could hardly believe that Snowball, once a hero, had been driven away so suddenly. Napoleon wasted no time. He canceled future meetings and announced that decisions would now be made by the pigs alone. The mood on the farm shifted from hope to unease, and a sense of betrayal settled over the animals as they realized their voices no longer mattered. Napoleon takes control. Napoleon quickly transformed Animal Farm to match his own ideas. He kept the loyal dogs close to enforce his power and suppress any dissent. Open debates and discussions vanished, replaced by commands from the pigs. The other animals began to follow orders out of fear instead of trust, creating a tense and silent environment on the farm. Napoleon's control became total, and challenging his authority was now risky. Napoleon and Squealer maintained their control over Animal Farm through a variety of manipulative tactics. Here are some of the key methods they used. 1. Squealer rewrote the story of the rebellion, blaming every problem on Snowball and portraying Napoleon as the true savior of the farm.
2. The pigs spread rumors and distorted facts, causing the animals to doubt their own memories and trust only the information provided by the leadership. 3. The dogs patrolled the farm and intimidated anyone who dared to speak out, using fear to keep all the animals in line. On Animal Farm, those who control the truth hold all the power.
By shaping what others believe, they are able to influence decisions, maintain authority, and manipulate the actions of the other animals. Control over information becomes the key to controlling the entire farm. As Napoleon and the pigs gained more power, the lives of the other animals changed significantly. The pigs started to grant themselves special privileges, such as extra food, comfortable beds, and reduced workloads. Meanwhile, the rest of the animals had to work even harder than before. The original promises of equality and shared prosperity disappeared, replaced by a growing feeling of injustice. Many animals felt left behind and betrayed, questioning what had become of the dream they once held dear. Broken promises. In this lesson, you have learned how Snowball was exiled, Napoleon took control, and the pigs used manipulation and fear to strengthen their hold on Animal Farm. The original dream of a fair and equal society has been replaced by growing inequality and disappointment. As the pigs' power increases, the consequences of betrayal become more apparent, and the future of Animal Farm becomes increasingly uncertain. Pay close attention as the story unfolds, because every decision made by those in power will influence the fate of everyone on the farm. When power is used to betray trust, everyone pays the price. Lesson 5 of 5. The Farm Transformed. Lessons and Legacy. The farm's final chapter. The story of the farm comes to a close, marking the end of an era. As the final chapter unfolds, the characters reflect on their journey, the lessons learned, and the changes that have taken place. The farm, once bustling with activity, now stands as a testament to growth, resilience, and the passage of time. This conclusion invites readers to consider the legacy left behind and the new beginnings that wait beyond the farm's familiar fields. As time went on, Animal Farm underwent changes that were beyond what anyone had expected. The barns and fields looked the same, but the atmosphere had shifted. There was a sense of weariness and something missing. The animals continued their daily work, but the optimism and togetherness that once energized them had disappeared. Although the farm retained its name, Animal Farm, it was obvious to any observer that the original vision behind the rebellion had been altered, and not in a positive way. Here are the major changes that signaled the transformation of the farm, highlighting how the original ideals were gradually abandoned. 1. Pigs walking on 2 legs. The pigs shocked the other animals by beginning to walk upright like humans, which blurred the distinction between the animals and their former human oppressors. 2. Adopting human behaviors. The pigs started to wear clothes, drink alcohol, and socialize with neighboring human farmers, embracing the very behaviors they once criticized. 3. Changes to the commandments. The original 7 commandments were quietly replaced with a single unsettling rule: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. 4. The farm's name restored. The pigs changed the farm's name back to Manor Farm, erasing the last symbol of the animal's revolution and the hope it once represented. For the other animals, these changes were confusing and heartbreaking. They watched as the pigs became more like humans, speaking and behaving in ways that felt foreign and wrong. Many animals struggled to remember the old days or to understand how things had gone so far astray. Their lives were filled with hard work and little reward, and most had given up hope that things would ever improve. The dream of equality and freedom seemed like a distant memory, replaced by resignation and quiet sorrow. What Animal Farm teaches us. George Orwell's Animal Farm is more than just a story about animals on a farm. It is a powerful allegory about the dangers of totalitarianism and the corrupting influence of power. The novel teaches us how easily ideals can be manipulated by those in authority, and how propaganda can be used to control and deceive. It also highlights the importance of critical thinking and the need to question those in power to prevent the loss of freedom and equality. Ultimately, Animal Farm serves as a warning about the consequences of unchecked power and the importance of vigilance in protecting democratic values. The conclusion of the story highlights several important themes and lessons that are relevant to understanding power, society, and personal responsibility. 1. Power corrupts. The pig's transformation demonstrates how individuals in positions of authority can become the very thing they once opposed, ultimately abandoning their original principles. 2. Equality versus hierarchy. The progression of the farm from a place of equality to one dominated by a new hierarchy serves as a warning about how easily fairness can give way to privilege and injustice. 3. The danger of forgetting history. As the animals lose memory of their past and the original commandments, they become susceptible to manipulation and oppression. 4. The importance of questioning authority. The story encourages us to think critically and challenge leaders when they act unjustly, rather than accepting their actions without question. The conclusion of Animal Farm leaves a powerful impression. It challenges us to reflect on how easily good intentions can be twisted, and how important it is to stay alert to changes in leadership and rules. The story's ending may feel sad or even frustrating, but it also serves as a warning and a lesson. As readers, we're encouraged to think about our own communities and the ways we can protect fairness, truth, and hope. The story of Animal Farm reminds us that freedom and fairness must be protected by everyone, every day. Looking back and moving forward, reflecting on what you have learned is an important part of the learning process. Take a moment to review the key concepts and skills you have gained throughout this lesson. Consider how you can apply this knowledge in future situations or in your daily work. Moving forward, set goals for how you will continue to develop and use these new skills. Remember, learning is a continuous journey, and each step builds on the last. The story of Animal Farm reminds us that freedom and fairness must be protected by everyone, every day. The story may end, but its lessons live on. What kind of world will you help create?